This conference will now be recorded.
So we are going to start with the new topic from today. That is, maybe I'll create a new notepad itself for this. So we'll be discussing about AP and AR. Okay, which is nothing but accounts payables and accounts receivables. What do you mean by accounts payables?
When we have to pay money to someone for goods or services received, that is accounts payable.
Right. So payables means whatever we are supposed to pay, and normally we buy the services and goods from supplier or vendor, right? So in short, in SAP terms, if I, or not in SAP terms, in any ERP terms, if it is coming to accounts payable, normally the definition is any transactions or any financial transactions, because it needs to involve finance, any financial transactions carried out with supplier, or in SAP terms, we don't call it as a supplier. Now in S4HANA, they are calling a supplier, but in ECC, if you go, there was this term which was used, vendor. Okay, so any financial transactions that you carried out with supplier are part of accounts payables. Okay, same way, what is accounts receivable?
When we have to receive money from someone for goods or services supplied, that is accounts receivable.
Right. So in short, we sell the goods and services to our customers. So any receivables, any amount that we need to receive from the customer, okay, that comes under the accounts receivable. So any transactions, any financial transactions carried out with customer is part of accounts receivable. Right. So in accounts payable,
Vikram, please write account receivable.
Transactions. Yes, sorry. Hello.
Hi, Vikram, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Just you have written the definition account receivable. At the end of the sentence, please write it receivable accounts.
Yes. Correct. Correct. So, yeah, can you tell me what are the different type of transactions that you will do with vendor, financial transactions? Or
You will send us the bill and then you will pay the bills.
Your voice is too low, Rajesh.
So I'm saying that they will send us a bill, and then when the bill gets due, we'll pay the bill.
Okay. So you will receive a vendor invoice, right?
Yes, vendor invoice.
Okay, you can call it as a vendor bill also. So you receive a bill. This is the first transaction. What else you can do with the vendor?
Payment to the vendor.
You will do the payment to the vendor against that particular bill. Okay, what else?
Purchase order will also come.
Purchase order.
Will send
Okay,
the
so I am
payment.
just writing. It comes to your mind, I'm just writing. You just keep on telling. So purchase order to vendor.
Purchase requisition.
Purchase requisition is internal. Purchase requisition is not sent to the vendor.
Okay. Payment advice.
Sorry?
Payment advice.
Payment advice with the payment. So with payment advice.
Advances to vendor, Vikram.
Advances to vendors. Sometimes we need to make the advances to the vendors. Okay, so most of the time we make the payment against the invoice, but sometimes even vendor will ask you to send to pay the amount in advance before creating the invoice. So that is called as advances to vendors.
Uh, mode of payments and terms of payment.
So that is all part of the payment itself. What are the transactions that we do with
Okay.
the vendor?
Goods returned, and because of that, a credit memo.
It can be credit memo, yes. Okay, so these are some of the transactions. We are not highlighting each and everything here. We will see in detail what are the other transactions, but you got the idea. What is accounts payable? So when it comes to accounts payable means if I'm running an organization on day-to-day basis, I am buying the goods and services from the external vendors, right? And obviously, when I'm buying any services from or goods from the vendor, definitely I need to pay some amount. So first of all, in SAP, if I want to do any transaction related to accounts payables, I need a vendor. I need the suppliers from where I need to purchase the material and services. Right, so master data in GL accounting, whatever we discussed in GL accounting till now, we understood that in GL accounting also we can do the transactions. What transactions we can do? We can post the accounting document, we can park the accounting document, and reverse the accounting document. But can we do anything without the GL? If we don't have the general ledger account, can we do parking the document, posting the document, reversing the document? We cannot do anything. So if we are talking about general ledger accounting, the first thing that we need is we need the general ledger. That is nothing but the master data. Same way, if I want to do any transaction in accounts payables, the first thing,
Vikram, you sound far away and there's static.
sorry,
Vikram, your voice is breaking.
is it okay now?
No, you're still far away.
Just give me a minute. Let me fix it. Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. So what I was saying is, if I am talking about the, just give me a minute.
Sir, are you saying something we are not able to hear?
Yeah, just 1 minute. I'm just changing the settings. Yeah, is it okay now? The voice is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying is, in general ledger accounting, we have seen that if I want to make any postings, if I want to post any transaction in SAP, the first thing that I need is a general ledger account, right? Without the GL, I'll not be able to post anything in GL accounting, because whenever I go to the GL accounting, whenever I go to post the document, I need to tell the system which GL account I want to debit and which GL account I want to credit, right? Same way, if I want to use accounts payables, in accounts payables, I cannot do anything without a supplier, without a vendor. So vendor is my master data. Similar to GL is my master data in GL accounting, in accounts payable, vendor is my master data. So every time if I need to do the business with the new vendor, the first thing that I should do is I have to create the vendor in the SAP system. Same way, in accounts receivables, if I want to do any transactions, if I want to generate a bill to the customer, if I want to receive the payment, or maybe sometimes the advance payment. So same thing, whatever we discussed here, same thing goes for accounts receivable also, because in accounts receivable also we have the similar transactions. So we receive, or instead of receiving, here we are create a customer invoice, right? Instead of making the payment, we are receiving the payment, receiving the payment from customer, right? Purchase order to vendor. Instead of purchase order, we will be creating sales order to the vendor. Sales order to the customer, sorry. Instead of advances to vendors, we will be receiving advances from customers. Okay, and instead of credit memo to vendor, we will be creating a credit memo to customer. Now, you may get confused here whether both are called as credit memo or this is called as debit memo. So normally for vendor it is called as debit memo, but in SAP terms it is still called as credit memo. So no need to worry, credit memo and debit memo don't get confused. In SAP for accounts payables as well as accounts receivable, we use the credit memo term irrespective of that is related to vendor or it is related to customer. So in short, if I want to do any transactions in AP and AR, the first most important thing is I need to create a master data, and that is nothing but I need to create a supplier and I need to create a customer. Okay, so other things in accounts payables and receivables we will discuss in detail in the coming week. But what we are going to focus today is without this supplier and customer, we will not be able to do anything in AP and AR. Okay, so our today's focus would be how can I create a supplier in SAP? Again, you cannot directly go and create a supplier. You have to do some configurations. We understood in terms of GL also. I cannot go and create a GL account directly. Before I create a GL account, I need to create a chart of account. I need to create the account groups. I need to define the retained earning account. I need to provide the number ranges, field status. So those are all the configurations. Same way, before I go and create a supplier and customer, there are some configurations that I have to make. So we will understand that in detail today. Okay. Also, there is some background noise. I request all of you till the time I complete my explanation, because this is very huge explanation. If you stop me in between, it may disturb the entire flow. Please mute yourself, maybe for another half an hour. And then if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, so what I'll do, this particular topic has a major change compared to ECC. Okay, the way in which the supplier and customer is created in ECC and how it will be created in S/4HANA, there is a big change. And that is the reason if I directly explain you how the customer and vendor is created in S4, you may struggle when you get a chance to work on ECC. And that is the reason I'm going to show you both. I'll first show you how to create a customer and vendor in ECC. Once I complete that, then I will come to S/4HANA and I'll tell you what are the changes in this particular process. Okay, so let's start with the supplier. So before I go and create a supplier, before I go and show you the system, how exactly the supplier is created, please understand when we talk about the vendor or supplier, the first thing that you need to identify is, okay, so when you are going to the company for SAP implementation, you will ask the customer, the person who is implementing, or the client who is implementing SAP, what are the different type of vendors do they have? See, you already understood there are different type of GL accounts. How we divide the GL accounts?
Account
How
group.
do account groups, right? We create different account groups for GL accounts. So this is my balance sheet related GL. This is my current asset related GL. This is my bank related GL. I can easily divide my GL accounts into different account groups. Same way, even the vendor are divided into vendor account groups. So there is something called as vendor account groups. Can you give me some examples how you divide the vendors? Now, this is not exactly what you say will follow in the industry. There will be different customers. They have their own way of dividing their vendors into different account groups. But can you give me some examples which are most commonly used in the industry? How you divide your vendors?
Yeah, domestic and international vendor.
That is one criteria. So if I want to divide my vendors into domestic, foreign, even you can say intercompany vendors. So these are my company,
These are my internal vendors, which means if I have a big organization and I have locations all over the world, so if I'm doing any transaction in my group company, so that will be intercompany vendors. Okay, even you can divide your vendors into goods providing vendors, services providing vendors. Even I have seen some examples where they go one level beyond in the service. So within the service also they will say, okay, this is administrative service provider, this is financial service provider. So based on the requirement of the company, how they want to divide their vendors and customers, they can create different account groups. Okay, same thing. See, first I will explain you the end-to-end vendor. All the things are exactly same in customer also. So when we are talking about the vendor account groups, similarly we have the customer account groups. Again, in the customer account groups, you can define what are the different criterias, what are the different groupings that you want to create. And one more thing, similar to GL account groups, what does account group controls? What is the purpose of vendor account group? What does it control? In GL account group, what were the two things which were controlled by the account group?
Document number.
Document number or?
His field status.
Right, both are correct. So it is not document number. It is in GL account, it is GL account number. Here it is vendor account number, vendor number.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
it controls the number range
Number. Yes.
and it controls the field status. Same. What was there in GL, same thing is controlled by the vendor account group. Okay, and there are more things. There are 2-3 more things which you can also write here. Like for example, whether it is one-time vendor or customer. We'll talk about what is one-time vendor and customer. So similar to, just understand in this way. If you understood GL, I will keep on referring GL when I'll be explaining AP, AR and asset also. So in general ledger accounting, the first thing that I need to have in order to post any transaction is a GL account. GL account is my master data, which will be created by the user on day-to-day basis. So whenever they want to create any new GL, they can go to transaction FS00 and they will create that GL. Similarly, if I'm talking about accounts payables and receivables, I cannot book any transaction in AP till the time I don't have the vendor. I cannot book any transaction in AR till the time I don't have the customer. So anytime if I want to do a transaction with a new vendor or a customer, the business user, it is not a consultant. Business users will go and create the customers and vendors in SAP system. Now, before a end user goes and create a customer and vendor, he will give us the list of the account groups. He will tell us that these are the account groups that I want to use in my business. So whenever I create a customer, system should ask me whether this is a domestic customer, foreign customer, intercompany customer, or any other groups that you want to add here. Right? Similarly, similar to the account group, in GL account group was controlling the number range, field status. Same way in vendor account group also, system will control or account group will control the number range and field status plus some other parameters that we will see when we will try to configure a new vendor account group. Okay, so let's see it how exactly the vendor account group is configured. Let's assume you got a list from the business that this is how we want to segregate our vendors. This is how we want to group our vendors. Once you get this list, where exactly you will go in the SAP system and where will you perform this activity. So what I'll do is, as I told you, I will first connect to ECC system. Okay, first I'll show you this entire process in ECC and then we will see how this is different in S4HANA. Okay, this is my ECC system and in order to create the vendor account group, I will go to SPRO, IMG. Okay, since we are discussing again and again, see in ECC you have these two folders, financial accounting and financial accounting new. What do you mean by this? Why there are two separate folders? The reason is in ECC there was a choice. you can use classic GL accounting or you can use new GL accounting. Okay, we have one session where we are going to discuss in detail what is new GL accounting. But just remember in ECC, or maybe let me open Excel and explain you. In this PC has not provided Excel, it seems. So let me enter it here itself. See, you have R3 system. Yesterday we were discussing. You have ECC, and now we are using S4. In R3, there was only classic GL functionality available. Okay, we will see what is classic GL and new GL in detail, but as of now, just remember only classic GL functionality was available. In ECC, classic as well as new. You have a choice whether you want to use a classic GL accounting or you want to use a new GL accounting. And in S4, only new GL accounting is available. Okay, and that is the reason if I open SAP S4, I will not get these two options. I will not get this is for classic GL, this is for new GL. I will not get these two options because there is no choice. Only new GL accounting is available. And since only new GL accounting is available, there is no question of bracket and new because it is only one thing, financial accounting. Right? So just remember here you are in ECC, you are able to see two folders. Reason is there is a choice. You can use classic or you can use new. But in S4 HANA, there is no choice. Only new GL accounting is available. And that is the reason there are not two folders. There is only single folder. Okay. So if I go to financial accounting new, otherwise most of the things you will find same. Even if I open financial accounting, most of the things are same, only few changes. So within financial accounting, you will be able to see AR and AP. Till now, we were discussing about financial accounting global settings and general ledger accounting for GL master data. Now for AP and AR, all the configurations related to AP and AR, they will be available here, accounts receivables and accounts payables. If you open this, the first two folders are for master data, one for customer master data, second for vendor master data. So we are starting with vendor. I will open this. You can see master data, vendor related master data. Click on master data. Preparation for creation of vendor master data. That is exactly what we are doing, right? We want to create the vendor, but we want to prepare the system before we create a vendor. So preparation for creating vendor master data. Again, let's open this. You can see define the account groups with screen layout. Screen layout means field control. So you can control which field is mandatory, which field is optional. Why? Using this transaction. So define the account groups with screen layout. Let's open this. This is where all the account groups are created. And these account groups are client at client level. This means, if you remember, when I created the GL account groups, so if I go to transaction, what is that? OBD4. For GL account groups, we created the GL account groups at the chart of account level, which means account groups are different for different chart of accounts. So if I'm using chart of account XYZ, I have different account groups. Any other company which is using this chart of account, they have different account groups. But for vendors, the account groups are at the client level, which means anyone can create account group and other person for any company code can use that account group. So I don't need to create the account groups separately for each company code or each plant or each purchasing org. I can use the same set of account groups which are already defined at the client level, right? So if I want to create my own vendor, I already have the list of 50 account groups. So if I want, I can make the use of this account groups now itself. But if I want to create if I want to add a new thing, then I can click on the new entry. So in our example, let's say we are saying this is XY domestic. Okay, so this is, although we don't have XYZ company here in ECC, but I'm just keeping the nomenclature same so that you can understand. So meaning is XYZ domestic. It is asking whether it is a one-time customer Okay, I'll explain you what is this one-time customer. As of now, don't worry about this. You can see the field status. So in the general data, which fields are in the address information, which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional. So in short, as I told you, you can control which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional for a particular account group. Okay, so just by providing the account group description and then the field status, you can just click on save. So this will create an account group. Now it is asking for the request. You already know what is this request. I'm just clicking on create a new request, and this is for AP in ECC. Save it. Okay, so we have created a new account group. I want to create one more, so I can just copy this, or I can start again with the new entry. So let's copy. So XY, I'm creating FO, which is for foreign, XYZ foreign vendors. Okay, and again, I'm just clicking on save. So press enter and save it. So now I have these two account groups that I have created. So I created an account group, I maintained the field status, but I have not assigned any number range, right? So for number range, there is another transaction. Here you only create a group. For number ranges, you can go here. First, you need to create a number range and then you need to assign the number range. So if I click on create the number ranges, here I'll be able to see all the number ranges which are already provided by SAP or someone else has created. But if I want to add a new one, okay, let's say I want to create a new number range 98, 99, number starting with, let's say 99000001 to 9999 all times 9. Okay, you can specify whether it is an external number range or internal number range. We discussed this during our document number ranges. Internal number ranges means system will automatically generate a next number. External number range means you have to provide the number manually while creation of vendor. So I'm creating this as internal. Okay, let's save it. If I want a separate number range for my foreign customers, then again I have to create another number range. Let's say I'm creating 98, 98000001 to 98999. Okay, so two number ranges I created. One I will assign to domestic and second I'll assign to foreign. So this is creation, and next is assign the number ranges to the vendor account groups. Here you will be able to see all the vendor account groups. Earlier, if you remember, there were 50. We created 2. So click on position and go to our account group starting with XY. So DO, I am assigning number range 98. You will be able to see the number range if you click on this button. So 98, and foreign I will assign to 99. Okay. So this is how the account groups can be created in SAP. These are the vendor account groups which can control the number range, which can control the field status. Okay, and now whenever you want to create a vendor, system will ask you whether you want to create a vendor under domestic or foreign or any other account group that you want to create. Okay, just one last thing before I go and show you the vendor account group. For each and every vendor, just remember, for each and every vendor or customer, we need a reconciliation account. Remember, AP, AR, asset accounting, are, or even no bank, maybe not. Yeah, AP, AR, and asset accounting are called as subledgers. Can you tell me what do you mean by subledgers? Any idea? Have you heard this term subledgers?
So basically in general ledger, we have this accounts payable, accounts receivable, so on. And to keep the detailed records, we have another ledger which would have the details, vendor wise details or so on. And ultimately, the total of that goes to the general ledger. So that's the sub ledger.
Right. So what does it mean? It means that if I ask you what is the total amount you need to pay to the particular vendor, okay, so I will go to that vendor report and I can easily find out this is how much I need to pay to the vendor. But if I ask you collectively, if I ask you what is the total amount needs to be paid to all the vendors, all the domestic vendors, then it should not happen that you have to go to each and every vendor, you have to perform the calculation and then tell this is how much I need to pay, right? Because in the balance sheet, when you are going to create a balance sheet, under the liability section, you need to specify how much is total payables. Okay, so that should come in the GL also, which means the balances of the vendors should go to each and specific vendor, that is subledger, and it also should go to the GL account, general ledger account, which means each and every vendor has to be connected to the GL account. Okay, if it is very difficult for you to digest now, let's wait for another 5-10 minutes, you will get a complete idea. What does it mean is reconciliation account means the GL account. So what I need to do in balance sheet, because I need to see the balances in the GL account, I have to go in FS00 and I have to create a reconciliation account here. Okay, but first of all, we have still not decided in which company code are we going to create these vendors in our ECC system. Okay, so first of all, just mute yourself, there is some background noise. Yeah, so first of all, I'll go and see which company code I can use here. So let's do one thing. Table, let's say LFB1. I'm just checking which company already has few vendors. Execute. Okay, so maybe I can use company code 1000. Okay, let's use company code 1000 and we will, or company code 0001, which is pre-delivered by SAP. Let's use company code 0001. And if I show you company code 0001, let me see how many vendors are already created here. There are 30 vendors which are created. Okay, so first I will create the 31st vendor and then I'll explain you what exactly is a recon account. Now, in order to create a new vendor, okay, now I'm not talking about configuration, the master data. Whenever a person wants to create a new vendor, that can be created using accounting, financial accounting. So for vendor, you will go to AP, for customer, you will go to AR, accounts payable, master records. Okay, and you can see create. If you're not able to see the T code here, if you remember, I told you previously, click on more, go to extra settings and click on this display technical names. Okay, again, accounting, financial accounting, accounts payable, master records, you can use that, you can see the transaction code now. So in order to create a new vendor in SAP ECC system, the transaction code that we can use is FK01. Okay, double click on this FK01. System is asking you which vendor you want to create, in which company code you want to create, and under which account group you want to create. You have to provide the vendor number if your number range is external. Our number range is external or internal? We created two number ranges. We created those as external or internal?
It was internal.
Internal
Vikram.
one.
It was internal because we are not ticked on that indicator, right? Let me show you. So if you go to financial accounting new, payables and receivables, vendor accounts, master data, preparation, and this is where we created the number ranges. So we created number range 98 and 99 and both are unticked. This means we are not using external, we are using internal. This means we don't need to provide any number here. System will automatically take the next number. What we need to provide is, we need to provide in which company code we want to create this vendor. So I'm creating this in 0001. And we need to provide under which account group, how we want to group this vendor. So we created 2 account groups apart from the 50 which were already available. So total it is showing you 52. As I told you, account groups are not restricted to any company. Any company can make the use of any account groups which are available. Okay, so in our case, we have created 2 XYDO and XYFO. So let's go ahead with this one. So I'm telling the system that I'm creating a domestic vendor for my company. Just press enter. It will take you to the next screen where you need to enter the details of the vendor. For example, the name, the address, okay, PO box number, mobile number, email ID. There are a lot of things which you can enter. And again, if you want to control this, if you want to tell the system which field, for example, city field, I want to make it mandatory. So you can go from here. You can open that particular account group, and from here you can control. In the general data, for example, in the address information, I want to make, let's assume, this PO box number as a required field. So what will happen as soon as I do this, as of now you can see this field is not mandatory, but this field will become mandatory, right? So you can control the look and feel, the fields which are important, fields which are optional, required in the vendor master data through vendor account group. So as of now, I'm just entering these details. So let's say this is the company. Name of the vendor is ABC Limited. Okay, search term, you can just give some few characters so that you can easily search instead of writing the full name. Street, house, number, if you want to provide the full address. So let's say this is Bangalore, or Bangalore is a city. Let's say Kormangla. Okay, sorry if I'm writing the wrong language, sorry, the wrong spelling, but what I mean is just showing you how you can enter all these details, just any postal code, and here you will enter the city, country, IN, and region is nothing but your state. So this will come under Karnataka. Okay, communication language is an important field, and by default it will come as English if you want to maintain telephone, mobile number, fax, email ID. Okay, if you just keep on pressing enter, it will take you to the next tab. Oh, something wrong. This is called as a dump in SAP. This comes when there is something wrong in the technical side, if there is something missing from the technical side. So let's see if you are able to do it once again. FK01, enter. ABC Limited. If you just press space button, it will show you the historical things, whatever you have written. Let's try one more time. Instead of pressing enter, I have to do something else. So instead of pressing enter, let me go to company code data, accounting info. It is not allowing as of now. So there is something wrong. I may not be able to show you in ECC system. This ECC system has some issue. Now let's try to save. No. This, if you are getting this kind of error, the only way is you have to go to the basis and ABAP. They need to find out what is wrong. You can see this is a technical object which is being called in the background. So we have to check what is this.
Code we are giving for multiple zeros, right? So can we change?
Sorry.
The scene, it is telling like zero is not possible. So we are giving number of zeros, right, in the postal code.
No, no, no. It has nothing to do with. It is not that zero. Okay, let's try.
Okay.
It is a program error, so it will not go and check these values. Okay, even see, these are not mandatory fields. Even if I just enter the country, forget about other things, I'm only entering the mandatory part. If I press enter, then also it will take the same thing. So it has nothing to do with that postal code.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. So what we can do is, in this case, let me show you the one which is already created. You will get an idea. So in order to create, you have to provide the account group. And once you provide the account group, it will take you to the next screen where you will be able to enter the other information. So now what I'm doing is I'm showing you the vendor which is already created. In S4, I'll show you the vendor starting from creation. So for company code, I want to see the vendor which is already created for company code 0001. There are these vendors. Let me open this one, for example. And you can see these are the various level of information that you can enter in the vendor master data. Let me include all. Let me show you all the things. Withholding tax is not coming because the company code is Germany, and in Germany withholding tax is not applicable. If you are doing the same thing for India, and if you activated the withholding tax for India, then this tab will also come. Withholding tax is nothing but your TDS. In India, we have the TDS concept where we receive the invoice from the vendor and we deduct the TDS and remaining amount we need to pay. So this is related to that. Let me press enter. See, this is the address tab. In the address tab, as you see, we enter the title. You can enter the name, search term, your country. Okay, and the important thing is language. If you keep on going to the next tab, it will take you to the control tab. Okay, in control tab, there are not much important information. This is just for the reference purpose. If you want to maintain some tax numbers, for example, GST number, VAT number, service tax number, whatever, you can enter that additional info of the vendor. Let's go to the next one. This is where you can enter the bank details of the vendor. So if you are paying online to the vendor and automatically you want to make the payment using automatic payment program, we will discuss that in detail. So you need the bank details so that the system automatically makes the payment to this bank account of vendor. Even you can enter the, we'll talk about this all things. As of now, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is where you have to assign the reconciliation account. If your reconciliation account is not assigned to your vendor, system will not allow you to make any financial posting. Whenever you say that I received the invoice from this vendor, the accounting entry will be posted to this vendor plus to this GL account. So if I want to see the collective accounts payables irrespective of the vendor, I can get the balance in this GL account. And this GL account I have to create using transaction FS00. Let me double click and take you to the GL account. You can see this is the GL account which is created in this company code. And how the system will know that this GL account is a reconciliation account for vendor? In control data tab, there is a field reconciliation account for account type. So for vendor reconciliation accounts, we have to enter vendor here. For customer reconciliation accounts, we have to enter customer. For asset reconciliation account, we have to use asset. So this three we use in FI: assets, customer, vendor. This is not relevant to us. Contract AR is another module, contract accounting. Okay, so the reconciliation account is one of the most important field in your vendor and customer master data. Okay, apart from there are some other fields which we will discuss in detail. We will create the vendor in S4. Okay, so payment terms, you can see there are various different options. So if you are getting the invoice, whether it is payable immediately or it is to be paid within 45 days, or it has to be paid by, there are various payment terms, and you can also create your own payment terms that we will discuss. Okay, so simple. Just remember, in order to create a vendor in SAP ECC, the only configuration that we need is vendor account group, and the only transaction which we need to create a vendor is FK01. So FK01, you can create the vendor at the company code level. So whenever you are creating a vendor for financial accounting, you will use transaction FK01. Now tell me one thing, in addition to financial accounting, which other module also needs a vendor? In SAP, there are multiple modules. We are talking about financial accounting. Is there any other module which also makes the use of vendor? We already highlighted here,
Yeah.
right?
Material management.
Yes.
Sorry?
Material management.
Material management, right? Because you told that we will be creating a purchase order to the vendor. Who will be creating the purchase order? This is MM module. In finance, we are not responsible for creation of purchase orders. Okay, so MM module will also create a vendor. So in order to create a vendor for MM module, there is a transaction code MK01. So F stands for finance, M stands for materials management. If I use MK01, you can see create a vendor for purchase organization for the purchasing point of view. When we are using FK01, system is asking us which company code, in which company code you want to create a vendor. If we are using MK01, system is asking us in which purchasing organization we want to create. And if you want to create a vendor in both finance as well as MM, then there is a third T code XK01, which is called as create a vendor centrally in MM as well as FI. So enter. See, it is asking you both company code as well as purchase organization. So these three transactions, MK01, XK01, FK01, these were the three transactions that we were using in ECC to create our vendors in FI, in MM, and in both FI as well as MM. If I try to do the same thing in SAP S4 now, okay, now I'm showing you what has changed in S4 HANA. In S4 HANA, if I try transaction FK01 and press enter, you can see I am getting message. It is not allowing me to go to transaction FK01. It is saying redirecting to transaction BP as transaction FK01 is obsolete. Obsolete means it is no more available in S4 HANA. Okay, let's try with MK01. Again the same thing, redirecting to transaction BP as transaction MK01 is obsolete. Let's try with XK01. Again the same thing, which means the way in which we were creating the vendor in ECC, it is not possible in S4 HANA, because in S4 HANA there is one new topic, there is one new feature. Okay, I'll not say new feature, this feature was there in ECC also, but it was not mandatory to use this feature. In S4 HANA, it is mandatory to use a business partner functionality. Okay, I'll tell you what is business partner. So which means you are not able to use this transaction XK01 anymore, MK01, FK01, these are all obsolete. And if you want to use this functionality, if you want to create a vendor, you can directly use transaction BP. Or if you try to use this, system will automatically take you to transaction BP. Now in BP, system is asking you whether you want to create a person as a vendor, or you want to create the organization as a vendor, or you want to create a group of organization as a vendor. Okay, so normally you don't need to worry about all three. Just remember, this is a question which comes in the exam. What are the business partner categories? So they will give you these three options. There will be fourth and fifth option also. You have to tick on these three indicators: person, organization, and group. Okay, what is the purpose of this business partner? What do you mean by business partner now? Business partner means any person, any organization, any group of people or organization that has something to do with your business. Which means if I'm doing a business, you are my customers. I have some vendors. I have my bank accounts. I have my employees. I have my sales representatives. Okay, I have taken the loan from some of the banks. So in order to run the business, I need multiple parties involved. I'm related to multiple parties. All these multiple parties are my business partners. So business partner is not only restricted to customer or vendor. your employee, your salesperson, your banks, your loan authorities, many other things. The business partner concept is used, but we don't need to worry about all other things. We are only using business partner for customer and vendor. So whenever you are creating a customer and vendor, you have to tick on this organization indicator. As a customer vendor, we are not supposed to create person or group. We will be only using organization to create a customer or vendor. Okay, so one option is if you are already using transaction xk01, system will automatically take you to this one. But normally, if I already know that in S4HANA, all transactions are not available, and in order to create a vendor or customer, I have to go to transaction BP. I can directly enter transaction BP here rather than redirecting. So this is the maintain business partner, and same way you can see it is asking whether you want to create a person, an organization, or a group. So in order to create a vendor, I will tell the system I want to create an organization. Okay, so here also you can see it is almost same. It is asking you business partner number, which can be external or internal. Okay, how the system will determine whether the number is internal or external? Based on the number range. Where exactly the number range is defined? Number range is assigned in the groups. So similar to vendor account group and customer account group, we have BP grouping also. This is the BP grouping, business partner account group. Okay, I know it is little bit difficult to digest all these things. This requires a lot of practice because this is something which is new functionality and little bit complicated for even the business users to understand why SAP came up with this business partner. So if you try to do some transactions on your own, you will become very confident, but in first time it is obviously going to be difficult to digest these topics. So you understood in ECC there are only few steps. What we have done in ECC in order to create a vendor? So configurations, there were only 3 important configurations. Number 1, create account group. Number 2, create number range. And number 3, assign number range to group. Okay, this is in ECC. But in S4HANA, in addition to this, there are many other configurations that you need to remember because you are not only creating a vendor, you are creating a BP, business partner. Okay, so in S4, obviously you have to first do all these things. And then there are additional things that you need to do. So let's start with this. Can you tell me how I can create an account group? It is same. The way it was created in ECC, it is same in S4HANA. Can you tell me what should I do in order to create the vendor account group in ECC? Sorry, in S4HANA? Where should I go?
XK01.
SAP reference IMG.
No. XK01 is a transaction code to create a vendor. What I'm asking you is group. How can I create a group?
We can use the same path, Vikram.
Yeah, so reference IMG. Where should I go?
Financial accounting.
Financial accounting, as I told you, there is only one folder here because only new GL accounting is available. So financial accounting, within this,
Accounts receivable and payable.
right, same path, account receivable and payable.
Vendor account.
Account.
Vendor account, yes.
Master data.
Master data.
Preparation for creating master data.
Preparation, and you can see exactly same. So I need to click on define account group with screen layout. In this system, in S4HANA system, we only have 3 account groups created as of now. So let's create another 2. So I'm just providing the same thing what we have done in ECC. So this is XYZ domestic vendors.
XYZ domestic vendors.
Awesome. Please mute yourself. Arthi, please mute yourself.
Vikram, your sound is echoing.
Yeah, Aarti, I've muted yourself from here. There was a lot of problem. Is it okay now?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So XYZ domestic I have created, and you can see you have general data, company code data, purchasing data, where you can go and specify which field is mandatory, which field is optional. So this is from MM perspective. This will be controlled by MM consultant, which fields they want to keep it mandatory, optional. Company code and general data, this can be controlled by company code, can be controlled by FI, and general data again is both. Either FI consultant or MM consultant take the responsibility that which fields are mandatory in the address information. Okay, so once you are done with this, just click on save. It will create a vendor account group. Okay, if I again want to create a new one, so I'll copy this. Okay, I will say this is XYFO for foreign. Okay, later on we will see by making some fields mandatory. As of now, I'm just copying as it is and clicking on save. So now we have two account groups. And same way, what we will do is we will create two number ranges and assign two number ranges. So what we can do is we can use the number ranges. They are not used as of now. So I can just use 0, 1 and 0, 2. So 1 starts with number 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 to 1, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay, this 2 starts with 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, ends with 2, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay, so that there is no overlapping, I just entered this, or maybe I'll just remove this so that there is no overlapping. Save. Enter a form number less than 2 number. Okay, by default it is asking something, so let me enter 1 and 2. Okay, so number ranges are created. Now we will assign this number ranges 0, 1 and 0, 2 in this activity. So I will say 0, 1 is assigned to domestic and 0, 2 is assigned to foreign. Okay, as I said, this is not enough. We just completed these 3 activities. We have created the account group, we created a number range, and we assigned the number range. But the problem is we don't have this transaction available here. We don't have this XK01, FK01, and that is the reason system is not asking us the vendor account group. When we are creating the customer or vendor, system is not asking us customer or vendor account group. System is asking us BP group. Have we created any BP group till now? Can you hear me?
No.
We have not created any BP group, right? So the first thing is, if I want to use this, I have to create the BP group. Okay, so that is the additional activity. So what I need to do, the additional things that I need to do in S4 are, let me write additional configs. Number 1, I have to create a BP group. Again, in the BP group, I have to assign the number ranges. And third important activity is I have to assign BP group to vendor account group. I'll show you what exactly I mean. Okay, so these are the 3 additional important things that I have to do in S4. So let me close this. Now, in order to create anything in BP, because BP is not restricted to any module. Business partner concept is not restricted to any module. It is not a finance topic or MM topic or SD topic or HR topic. It is everywhere. And that is the reason there is a folder cross application. Cross application means those settings which are not restricted to only particular module. Okay, cross application, which means MM, SD, anyone can use these settings. So within cross application components, you'll be able to see business partner, SAP business partner. Open this. In this again you can see business partner. Open this also. Go to basic settings. Okay, in basic settings you can see number ranges and groupings. Open this. You can see define the number ranges and define the groupings and assign the number ranges. So let's see the number ranges first. So I can directly make the use of 0, 1 and 0, 2. Or if you want to have the same numbers, okay, first of all, I'll make the use of same, then I'll tell you what you mean by same numbers. So I'll use 0, 1 and 0, 2, although the numbers you can see what we defined for vendor are different than for what we are defining for business partner. So that is fine. So I'm going to make the use of 0, 1 and 0, 2. I have to create the BP groupings here. New, let's create as domestic. I can give the same code as my vendor account group, or it can be different. That is not a problem. So domestic vendors, and foreign vendors. Okay, and number range, as I told you, I will assign 0, 1 and 0, 2. Enter. You can see 0, 1 is external. Let's see. 0, 1 is defined as external. What does it mean? It means that I have to provide the numbers manually. Okay, good. We will see both. So now,
so the number range number should be same 0102.
no, not necessary. I can assign 0, 3 also. That is not a problem.
Here for domestic number range, if we are like ticking here external, so there also it should be external, is it?
No, not getting you. Here, if I'm taking external, it will by default come here. It is like, it is not allowing you to change it. See, there is no change
Okay.
option. It is automatically coming from the number range. It is just showing
Because
you.
of 01.
Because of 0, 1. You are using 0, 1, and in 0, 1 settings, it is already external. So it is just showing you that this BP grouping will take the external number range.
Okay, 0102, we can take another also, right? X5.
Yes. Any number range, that is not a problem.
Okay, so that time external will not take.
You have the option. See, external, if you don't want external, you can untick.
No, not from here. I'm asking from BP. I'm asking here we are taking 01 and 02 because there we are in the BP grouping we have taken 01, so automatically external has checked. Okay,
right.
Instead of 01, 02, if we take 03, 04, so external will not be checked there.
See, as of now, 03, 04, AB all are external, but let's assume EE, or let's assume 02 itself. If I say that for my foreign, I'm not going to use, sorry, for my domestic, I will also use 02. So this has gone away.
No, instead of 01, 02, if we take another 0x something we take another, then?
Yeah, let's take EE. So if EE
Okay.
is internal, it will come internal. But if you see 03, which is set as external, so that will become external.
So it is falling from that number range. Okay.
Right. It is just showing you here, but it is coming from this setting, the previous setting. So if you want to change it, you have to change it from here. You will not be able to change in the BP grouping. You have to change from here itself.
Okay.
Okay, so we have completed these two settings. We have created a BP grouping and we have assigned the number range to the BP grouping. Last one and the most important one is assign the BP group to vendor account group. Now this is very important to understand. So what I'll do is first I will try to show you creation of BP and I'll show you what error you will get. So I'll go to transaction BP. Okay, and I'm trying to create a new vendor. As I told you, if I want to create a new vendor, I have to click on organization. Click on organization. Now the business partner number, either it is internal or external, that is controlled with the grouping. So just now I created two groupings. If you are not able to see the codes, see it is only showing you name. If I want to see the 4-digit code also, go to more, GUI settings, options. And from here, go to interactive design, visualization 1, and tick on this indicator, show with drop down list and sort. This two you should tick, click on OK. Now you can see it is showing you 4-digit code and then the description, and that too in the sort, in the ascending order. So the two that we created is domestic and foreign. So let's assume I want to create a domestic vendor. So I'll click on this domestic, and you can see this domestic, if it is assigned to external, I have to provide this number manually. If it is assigned to internal, this number will come automatically. Okay, so business partner and grouping. Another important field is create in BP role. As I told you, business partner is a very big functionality. Business partner can be your bank, it can be your employee, it can be your vendor, it can be your customer, it can be your sales representative. This is a complete list of what a business partner can be. Okay, it can be your carrier, it can be your financial service provider, it can be your issuer, it can be your depository bank, it can be your collections management. So different modules in SAP make the use of business partner. But if you ask me which one I should use for creation of vendor, it is FLVN00, supplier for financial accounting. Okay, you will use FLVN00 for supplier, FLCU00 for customer. So as of now, I want to create a supplier. So I'll click on this. Okay, you will get this message. Do you want to create a business partner under this supplier role, or do you want to save it first under the general role and then change it? So I'll say create. No need to worry about all other things. So domestic vendor I'm creating, I'm telling the system this business partner is going to play the role of supplier. It is asking you title, it is asking you name. So let's say this is ABC Limited again. Whatever additional information you want to provide. Address, country is important, so I'm just entering country. Okay, and then similar to ECC, if you remember, I told you to click on company code, but we were getting that error, dump error. Here also I need to click on a company code. If I click on the company code, it will ask me for which company code you want to create this vendor. I want to create this vendor in our company, which is XYIN, that we are using for GL as of now. Okay, if you just press enter, now the first thing system is asking you, grouping domestic vendor has an external number assignment, enter the number. Why this error is coming? Because the grouping, just now we discussed, the grouping that we are using is using the external number range. If that is internal, if I change it to foreign, foreign is using internal, then this error will not come. See, it is not coming, it will generate automatically. But if it is domestic, system will ask me the external number. Okay, let's make again domestic, and we have seen the number range. So for example, if I provide any number outside the number range, if I provide something like this, that also will give error. You can see the number should be between 1 to 999. Okay, so this is being controlled by the number range. So I'm using number 1, business partner. Okay, so now it is asking you the reconciliation account. I told you what is a reconciliation account. A reconciliation account is nothing but a GL account which is assigned to your vendors. So if I do F4 now, system will not show me any reconciliation account. Why? We have still not created any GL with reconciliation indicator as vendor. If I show you the GLs which we have created this many number of GLs, but if I show you any of this GL in control data is not assigned to this reconciliation indicator for vendor. That is the reason we will not be able to use any GL account. So we have to create one. let's say I'm creating new GL under liabilities. My liabilities accounts are starting with 1 and up to 2 I already created. So this would be 3. So 1003 in company code XYIN. Okay, what would be the type of this GL account? Accounts payables. Liability account is what?
Balance sheet.
Yeah, balance sheet.
Right. Account group would be liabilities.
Yeah, current liability.
Okay. Yeah. And in short text, I will enter this as accounts payables. Okay, I'll go to control data. As I told you, most important thing is reconciliation account for vendor. Okay, and in create bank interest tab for field status group for reconciliation accounts, there is a, you can see YB67 for reconciliation accounts. Okay, that's it. Click on save. So I can use this accounts payable account now. If I go to F4 once again, system will show me this GL account. If there are multiple, okay, so one correction here, if I have multiple, if I have a separate GL account for domestic, for foreign, so let's say this is for my domestic vendors. Okay, so same way, whenever I'll be creating a vendor, system will give me the list of domestic, foreign, employee, intercompany, whatever GL accounts you created under the reconciliation indicator vendor, and you can select one from the list. So I'm selecting this domestic. Okay, and now if I try to save it, if I try to create this vendor, click on save. First, edit the standard address with the error. There is something wrong in the error, sorry, in the address. So what is that problem? I think language is a mandatory field. Let me enter English and try to save once again. Required field city has no entry. So city is also the required field. Let me enter city. Save. You cannot create a vendor with grouping DOM. I am using grouping DOM and system is not allowing me to create a vendor because system is not able to know that when I'm saying DOM grouping, I mean I want to create a vendor in XYDO account group. I am telling the system to create a vendor, but I have still not told the system which account group to use in the background. So there is one more configuration. As of now, if you see in vendor general data in your create in this role FLVN00, you are able to see this vendor general data, and system is not able to determine the account group. This is a vendor account group. We created two vendor account groups, right? XYDO and XYFO. So we want the system to automatically derive this based on this. So we want to create one configuration where we say the system that if I'm using BP grouping DOM, it means I want to create a vendor in account group XYDO. So that is one additional configuration that we have to do. So again, SPRO, IMG, cross application components. Now this time I don't need to go to the business partner. I need to go to master data synchronization. Just after the business partner, you will get master data synchronization. No need to worry about path. Path is bigger. I think in the PPT that I shared already with you, all these screenshots are there. So master data synchronization. Here you will go to CVI, customer vendor integration, one of the hottest topic in SAP S/4HANA. There are many companies who are struggling to create the business partners because no FI consultants who were working from years, 15, 20 years in SAP ECC, they have never worked on business partner. And that is the reason this is one of the hot topic today in the market. There are many companies who are just looking for someone who has worked on the business partner concept. Okay, customer vendor integration. Open this business partner settings. You can see settings for customer, settings for vendor. Let's go to settings for vendor. Here field assignment, assign keys, and this is what I mean. define the direction from BP to vendor. So based on the BP group, system should be able to determine the vendor account group. Open this. Okay, click on new entry. The already one which are created are having some problems, so I'm just rectifying this. Okay, so which BP grouping we want to assign to which account group? This is our BP grouping. Which account group?
Domestic.
Domestic. Same way, this BP grouping. Right? And save it. So now system knows that when I'm saying my BP grouping is domestic, I mean I want to create a vendor under XYDO. Okay, so this one, which is blank as of now, let's try to press enter. You can see it has been derived now. So BP grouping DOM is assigned to account group XYDO. Now if you try to save, it will generate two numbers. One is business partner number and second is vendor number. This is our business partner number 1. How it came? It came from the grouping number range. Okay, let me show you. If you are able to understand these things, the life will become very easy. Okay, in SAP. So these are the most critical things that you need to understand. So if you remember in number ranges and groupings, we told the system that our DOM is assigned to number range 01. And in 01, we have told the system that our numbers are starting from 1 to 9. So the first number 1, has been taken over by business partner. When the system, when you create a new, again, since it is external, you have to provide the numbers manually, 2, 3, 4. If you skip the number, then also system will not ask you anything. If you create a new business partner, you may skip number 2 and directly create 3. It will allow, since the number range that you are using is external. So whatever number you will provide under this range, system will take that number without checking whether it is in the sequence or not. From where this number came? This number came from the vendor account group configuration that we have done the same in ECC. So that is in financial accounting, accounts receivables and payables, vendor accounts, master data, preparation. We have assigned the number range. For domestic, we assigned number range 01. And let's see what are the numbers in number range 01. It is starting with this number. That is exactly what has been generated here. And this is internal, which means the next number will be generated automatically. So now this vendor has been created in your S/4HANA system. Okay, so remember one thing, in ECC there was no need to create a business partner. We were directly creating the vendor. But in S/4HANA, if you want to create a vendor, creation of business partner is mandatory. And that is the reason, in order to create the business partner, there are 3 additional configurations that you have to maintain. In ECC, we were only maintaining this much. In S/4HANA, we have to maintain this many number of configurations. Okay. Once you make these changes, you will be able to create a customer or vendor in this way. Okay. Just to revise, let's do the same thing for customer now. So for customer, what I need to do? First thing, I need to set up these 3 things. I will create an account group for customer. I will create a number range for customer, and I will assign the number range to the group. And then same way, I'll need to do the same thing for BP. So let's go to the configuration, back. So first configuration I need to do in here itself, same as ECC, financial accounting, AR and AP, customer account, master data, preparation, And first thing is define the account groups. So this many account groups already exist. I want to create new. This is again XYDO, but this is for customer account group. This is not same as vendor account group. So this is for my domestic customers. Okay. No need to worry about others as of now. Let's click on save. Same way, I will create one for foreign. This is for foreign customers. Okay, next is the number range. Let's see if the number ranges already exist. Yeah, I can make the use of the number ranges which already exist. So again, I will take maybe this one to, no, sorry, not this one. The one that I took previously, this one, this to this, and this I'll just make 2. Okay, and save it. Okay, numbers are up to us. I'm not saying to take the same number. Whatever numbers you want to take, whatever number ranges you want to take, you can take that. Assign the number ranges to the customer. So these are the 2 account groups that we created. Here I'm assigning 01 and here I'm assigning 02. Save. So our 3 steps for customers are done. Now we are left with this additional 3 steps related to BP. So for BP, as I told you, it is a not only financial, it is a cross-functional, cross-application components. You have to go to first SAP Business Partner, basic settings, or yeah, basic settings, number ranges, and define the grouping and assign the number ranges. So for customer, I will create another 2 number ranges. This one I use for vendors. I'll create for customers. So let's say grouping. Now even I can use the same BP grouping also because it is domestic and foreign. So instead of vendors, I can say this is vendor as well as customer. It is not necessary that each and everything I need to create as a separate. I will use the same BP groupings and I'll assign it to the customer account groups. Okay, so number ranges are also assigned. The last activity is I need to assign my BP group to customer account group, and that is done in master data synchronization. So master data synchronization, CVI, customer vendor integration, business partner settings. Earlier we have seen for vendor. Now we need to close vendor and open customer settings. Field assignment, assign keys, and this is where we need to assign direction BP to customer. So new entry, again the same issue. I'll just remove this. Okay, so the BP grouping that we created are same, which is DOM and FOR. And which customer account group we want to assign it to. So customer XYDO and customer account group XYFO. Save. Okay, now you go and create a customer. So how are you going to create a customer in S4? In order to create a customer in S4, you will go to transaction BP. Okay, you will click on the organization. You will select the grouping under which you want to create a, you can see domestic vendor customer. So I'm creating domestic. In create BP role, which role I should select for customer?
Oh, here is a FLCU00.
Right. For vendor, it is FLVN00. For customer, it is FLCU00. So select this, click on create. Title, whatever name you want to provide to your customer. Okay, whatever other information is mandatory. So country is mandatory field, language is mandatory field, Okay, and then you can go to the company code data. For which company code you want to create? I want to create this for XYIN. Okay, again it is saying that it is an external number range, so provide the BP number. So the next number is 2, but I can take 3, 4, whatever I want, because system is not going to check. In the external number range, it is not necessary that the number should be in sequence. Okay, now system is asking me reconciliation account. If I do F4, it will not show me anything. Why? Because we have still not created any GL with reconciliation indicator as customer. So I have to go to my GL account once again. Accounts receivable is part of asset. And the next number I can use is 2001. Is it correct? I think one additional zero. Yeah, 8 digits. Enter. GL account type, again balance sheet. Account group would be assets AR. It is starting with 2030. So I have to use this number. So cancel, new. Two zero three zero 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 zero, right? Or one. Let's try. GL account type is balance sheet. This is asset AR. Yes. Okay, short text. This is accounts. I can simply write AR for domestic. It is also called as sundry creditors. Many companies use this GL account as sundry debtors. Sorry, AR is sundry debtors and AP is sundry creditors. Control data, reconciliation account for account type customer. And same for reconciliation accounts YB67. So this one I created for domestic. Same way I want to create for foreign also. So I'm copying this to, only change would be description. So this is AR foreign. Same way I want to create for intercompany. So this is my number 3. Okay, so now all these 3 GL accounts, if I do F4, it will give me the list of all the 3 GL accounts which are of reconciliation indicator type customer. So this one I am creating for domestic. Okay, and click on save. So it will generate 2 number. Again, there is something wrong, not active tab. Let's try once again. So transaction BP, organization, domestic, FLCU00, create. Go to company code data, enter the company code, enter a reconciliation account, and let's try to save. No, something wrong. So I'll check this, what exactly is wrong. But again, the way the customer is created is exactly same as the way the vendor is created in SAP. Only thing is the roles are different. So for vendor, we are using FLVN00, and for customer, we are using FLCU00.
Vikram, it was showing that it is a require external number range. Maybe that's why the error.
No, but that should give the error properly. Let's see. Earlier we have given, last time we have given number 3. Let's try. So number 3, this is fine. This should be it got stuck. Yeah. No, it is something else. No active tab. I have to check this with ABAP. Okay, this is all coding, ABAP coding. We'll see. We don't need to understand this coding. This is to be taken care by ABAP. We need to, if you are getting this kind of message, simply you need to take a screenshot and send it to your technical team. They will be taking care of this. So let me just refresh so that everything is clear in your mind. So I've shown you how the vendor is created in ECC. Same way, at least the transaction code you should remember for customer also. So for customer, this is ECC system now. I'll go to accounts receivable, master records, transaction code was FD01. For vendor, it was FK. The K is always used for vendor in SAP and D is always used for customer. The reason is creditor K, debtor D. So you will say creditor starts with C, not K, but it is not in English. It is in German. Okay, the system is built up in German. So there is a logic everywhere. K is always for creditors, for vendors, and D is always for debtors, that is customers. So FD01, if I double click on this, you can see the screen is everything is same. Account group, it is asking the first thing. You will provide the account group. Let's say I'm providing this account group. If a account group is assigned to the internal number range, customer number will get generated automatically. If it is external number range, we have to provide the customer number. Okay, we can tell in which company code we want to create this vendor, sorry, customer. Just press enter. You can see this is external. That is the reason it is asking you for the number. If I provide any number, if that number is not in that number range, I'll get another error that the number that I have provided is not in the range. Okay, you can see that range is 1299, 5 times 9. Okay, so it is allowing you to go ahead now. So first thing is normally general data. It is directly taking you to the company code data. So you can go to the general data from here, more, go to, maybe those fields are hidden. That is the reason you are not able to see the general data. In general data, it will ask you the, oh, sorry, this is already created. This number is already created. You can see customer is already created with this number. That is the reason it is not allowing you to change in name and address. So again, if I go to XD01, let me try with other number. So 99956 or something. Okay. Yes. So it is taking you to the general data. You can enter the title, you can enter the name. Okay. You can see fields are almost same. Country, language, everything is same. Okay. Once you complete this, you will click on company code data. In company code data, you need to provide the reconciliation account and click on save. Only thing is here only customer number is getting generated. But in S4, in addition to the customer number, for each and every customer and vendor, system is generating the business partner number. Okay, so similar to vendor, here also there are 3 transactions. If you are creating a customer for company code from FI point of view, you use FD01. If you want to create, now which other module will use customer in addition to FI?
Sales and distribution.
Sales and distribution, right? Sales module. So for sales, if you want to create this customer, transaction code is VD01. And again, if you want to create at both FI as well as sales, XD01. So these were the 3 transaction codes that we were using in ECC. But in S4, again, if you try all these 3, XD01, it will take you to BP. If you try VD01, it will also take you to ECC, sorry, to BP. And even if you try FD01, it will take you to BP, which means there is only one transaction code to create customer, vendor, and any other type of business part, and that is BP. Okay, remember in BP there are 3 categories, 3 account types. You can select a person, organization, or group. But for customer and vendor, we always go with organization. Click on the organization. Similar to customer account group, vendor account group, GL account group, we have the BP grouping also. Again, which controls the field, sorry, which controls the number range. So once you select the grouping, based on system will automatically determine whether it is an internal or external number range. And whenever you are creating a BP, because BP is a very big term, there can be different roles a business partner can play in your organization. This business partner can be your employee, it can be your bank, it can be your competitor, it can be your sales representative. So there are a lot of options available, and you can create your own also if required in future. But in our case, when you are creating a customer, we will be using FLCU00 for finance. If I want to create the same customer in sales and distribution, I will use FLCU01. So these two roles are related to customer. This for finance and this for sales. Same way, if I want to create a vendor, I will be using FLVN00 for finance. And if I want to use the same vendor in materials management, I'll be using FLVN01 role. Okay, so this is what you need to specify. Apart from this, if you see the screen from here onwards, it is exactly same as what you have in ECC. You enter the address information, name information, go to company code tab. There you will get the list of transactions. So as of now, just remember we entered reconciliation account. When we will do the transactions, we will understand what are the other fields in the customer and vendor master data based on the different type of scenarios that we need to run. Okay, clear on this? Any questions?
Oh yeah, Vikram. What is the difference between we are creating vendor in the finance and we are creating vendor in material management?
So when you are creating a vendor in finance, you will be able to do the financial transactions, but you will not be able to create a purchase order. You will not be able to do any transactions in MM module. If you want to do the
Okay.
transactions in MM module, then you have to create this vendor in both MM as well as FI. So I'll just show you. We have already created a business partner, right? If I want to open a existing business partner, I can click on this open BP. And I think the one that we created was business partner number 1. Right now, this business partner is already created. If I see in which role it is created in FLVN00. These two are the default roles. These two roles will come for each and every business partner. So as of now, we created this business partner only for financial accounting. So if I want to use this business partner, or if I want to use this particular vendor in PO, I will not be able to use. If I want to use this particular vendor in my purchase related transactions also, then what I need to do is I need to click on this change button. You will be able to see the list of all the business roles now, business partner roles, and I will click on this BP role FLVN01. Okay, it will show you the purchasing tab. If I go to FLVN00, it will show me company code tab. See here. Huh? This purchasing will get converted to company code for finance. But if I want to use this in purchasing module, then I'll go to FLVN01. I'll click on purchasing. I will enter the details related to the purchasing. So purchase organization is similar to company code in FI. In purchase organizations, we can have different purchasing departments. We can have different purchasing organizations. That is set up in MM module. So once they enter all these details, if this vendor or if this business partner is already created in this role, then only this vendor can be utilized in MM module. Same thing goes for customer also. So if I created a customer in FLCU00, I can only use it in financial accounting. If I want to use this same customer in SD module, then I have to extend this FLCU01 role also. You have to create additional role for this customer, saying that this customer will be also used in SD module. Okay, this question comes in the exam. What are the two roles related to customer? What are the two roles related to vendor? They will give you 4 or 5 options and you have to select these two roles properly.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
If vendor has to be created in finance, so who creates it? FI team or the MM team?
If the vendor needs to be created in FI, it is a responsibility of a FI team. If a vendor needs to be created in MM, it is a responsibility of the MM team. But ultimately, it totally, because it is a vendor master data. Master data is not created by the consultants. Master data will be created by the end user.
End users.
And it may happen that the end user team is the master data team, which is taking care of each and everything. So irrespective of whether it is a company code or purchasing, it is possible that only one team is responsible for everything. Or it may also happen that there is a separate team, one creating at the company code level and second creating at the purchasing org level.
Okay, and once we are creating at company code level, we can extend it to purchase organization level, right? Like a
Yes.
chart of account and company code. And once we are creating in the purchase organization level, like company code will be already included in that.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so is there any, can you give any example? We are not doing MM related transaction and we are having vendors.
Yes, possible. There are many companies who are not using MM module in SAP. They are only using FI module.
MM in the
And
sense inventory are not there, inventories are not there, but services are there. Is that?
Yes, even services. See, there are some vendors, for example, you have a refreshment expense. Okay, are you putting the PO for refreshment expenses that I need a tea, I need a coffee?
No.
So those bills will come out directly in FI. There is no need to do it in MM module.
Okay.
So vendor will send you the bill, but there is no such PO in the system. When you're buying the goods, you create a PO in MM module and then you receive the invoice. So that is MM plus FI. But there are few transactions which you are directly booking in FI without any reference to MM. For that, you don't need the MM vendor.
Okay. And what about the other groups? Are companies are using these groups also?
Which groups?
See, career issuer, customer offices, those groups. Because I never seen.
As I told you, these are not related to our standard SAP. These are not related to finance module. In SAP, there are more than 100 modules, FSCM, treasury, HR. So there are many of these roles which are related to those advanced modules. Okay, so career may be in some of the supply chain management. If you see this counterparty, this is used in the treasury module. You can see TR means treasury. This issuer, counterparty, depositor, these are all treasury module. This is from the collections module. This is from the credit management module. So different modules are using the different business partner roles. But when it comes to finance, MM and SD, we are using these four roles: FLCU 00, 01, 00, and 01.
Okay, so suppose vendor, business partner one are coming into the multiple categories. So once we are creating in the PO organization level and the company code level, we can extend it to consumer career, right? Just need to extend it.
Yes, if you are using those modules, you need to extend it. You can see these are related to CRM module. CRM.
Okay.
If you are using CRM module, then only these are required.
Okay, and if we will open with the particular row, so it will be the tabs will be opening related to that row, right?
Right. If I click on this consumer, you can see sales and distribution has opened. If I select treasury, it will open some other tabs based on treasury. So treasury is related to company code again, because treasury modules makes the use of financial company codes. If I click on UDM collections, you can see nothing is available because it is not created at a company code or the sales out level. So based on what role you are selecting, whatever tabs are relevant to this, that will get active.
Okay, and if our vendor is our customer, so we'll come to that point later, is it?
Yes. That scenario is very important scenario. We will discuss it later. If a vendor is also our customer, then how are we going to book the invoices and how are we going to settle the debits with credits?
And every vendor and every customer should have separate reconciliation account, is it?
No. Then what is the point? Reconciliation account for all the domestic vendors would be common. Reconciliation account for
Okay.
all the intercompany vendors would be common. That decision needs to come from the business. What are the different reconciliation accounts they want? If I have thousands of vendors, hardly 5 or 6 reconciliation accounts would be there overall.
Okay.
So multiple domestic customers will be assigned to the same reconciliation account. Multiple foreign customers will be assigned to the same reconciliation accounts. We don't need to create every time a reconciliation account. That is one time activity.
Okay.
So basically, if we open the transactions in that reconciliation account, then we will see all the vendor's transactions, debit and credit in that account, right?
Yes, you're right. So let's assume I have 200 vendors under the domestic group, under the domestic reconciliation account. So if I want to see the report vendor wise, I will go vendor wise report. If I want to see the report overall 200 vendors at once, then I will go to the GL, which is reconciliation GL for that particular group of vendors. In that, I can see the entire amount and I can also see the vendor wise amounts available. Okay, that part we will come when we will do some transactions. I will show you how the reconciliation account is set, how to see the report at the reconciliation ledger level, how to see the report at the sub ledger. That will come when we will do some transactions in the next session.
Okay. So we cannot use this person and group category in the VP, or is there any scenario where we can use this person and group category? You have told, right? Always we have to use
There is
the organization.
yes, there is no restriction. We can even use person and group. That is to segregate. That is to tell the system what is the nature of this particular business partner. So for example, if you say it is a person, so what kind of examples you can create as a person? The person can be your employee, it can be your sales representative, it can be your bank representative. But when it comes to the customer and vendor, they are not the person, they are the legal entities, right? And that is the reason we say those are organizations. If you want you to create a person as a customer, nobody is stopping you. But normally, because we are not using that much detailed business partner concept in our AP and AR, we normally go with one single, that is organization.
Don't have this category in the ACC.
In ECC, there was no question of business partner because it was these categories were there in ECC. See, business partner, whatever I shown you, this is as it is available in ECC. But only thing is, because it was not mandatory to use the business partner concept, nobody was creating a business partner. We were directly creating the customer and vendor. In S4HANA, direct creation of customer and vendor is not possible. It is only possible through business partner.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just show you the important tables in customer and vendor master data. So again, we need to start with ECC. Also, there are some important, very simple questions which you need to remember, which are asked in the exam. So if I ask you, there are 3 segments, remember this thing, 3 segments in customer master. Number 1, general data. What other information we are entering in customer master data? In general data, we entered the name and address.
Company code.
Second is company code. Yes. In company code data, we entered the FI level details, FI related details. And what is the third one?
Currency.
No.
SD.
SD, which is
Sales and
sales
distribution.
related information, sales and distribution. Sales org, normally we say sales organization. Okay, which is obviously SD related details. So in customer master data, there are three segments. General data segment, let me show you. So general data, where you enter this address information. If I select FLCU00, I will get this company code button where I need to enter the company code relevant details. So this is my company code segment. And then if I select FLCU01, I will get the information at the sales org level, sales and distribution, which is at the sales organization level. So these are the three segments in customer master data. This question is asked n number of times in exam. Same way, three segments in vendor master data. What are those? General data, same. Company code data, same. What is the third one?
Purchase.
Purchase organization will be there.
Right. So MM related data goes to purchase organization. Similar to sales organization in SD, we have purchase organization in MM. Okay. So what is the role for FI related data? For customer, FLCU00. For sales, FLCU01. For vendor, FLVN00. And for purchasing, FLVN01. Okay, now at each level, what are the tables? So the general data segment of customer master data is stored in table KNA1. Okay, let me show you. But as of now, we have not created any customer, right? Because we got an error, but it will show the other customers which are already created. We may not be able to see our customer, but it will show you all the customers which are created. KNA1, general data in customer master data. Okay, if you execute, it will give you the list of all the customers which are created with name and address information. General data will only give you name and address. It will not show you company code, in which company code it is created, in which sales org it is created. For company code KNB1, customer master data for company code, it will clearly show you which customer is created under which company code. So it will give the complete list. So this, you can see some of the customers may be created for multiple company codes. Same customer I can use for multiple company codes also. Right. So these are the different customers which are created in company code 1710. Okay, with this reconciliation account. This is when they are created. This is who created this customer accounts. What are the payment terms? Okay, so there are a lot of things which we will see in detail. So KNB1 is a company code segment of customer master data, and third table is KNVV, which is for sales area data. So KNA1, KNB1, and third one is KNVV. The same tables in ECC also, this were the same tables for master data. For vendor data, it is LFA1, LFB1, And purchase organization, is it LFC1? Let's see. LF, I think LFC1 itself. Let's see. So LFA1, supplier master data for general. It will give you the list of all the vendors. 30 vendors are created. LFB1 I can show you for our company code. So I want to see all the vendors which are created for company code XYIN. You can see we created just one vendor in company code XYIN. This is created under my ID on this particular date. This is a reconciliation account that I have assigned. Okay, so LFB1 and next one, is it LFC1? Let me check. No, it is not LFC1. LFA1, LFB1, and I need to check which table. So purchase organization, let's do F4, information system, star, vendor, star. It starts with L, that is for sure. So if you are sure that it starts with L, you can also do one thing.
Vikram, I guess it's a LFM1 for
LFM1,
purchase
yes,
order.
yes, you're right.
Yes.
You're right, you're right. It is LFM1. So I'm just showing you how you can check if you are not sure with the table name. So you can say L star. So I'm saying it starts with L, or even if you are sure that it is something with LF, because LF A1, LF B1, but third one I don't know. So LF star, and if you just want to provide any description, that is also fine. Otherwise, just click on enter. So LF A1 we already know. If you just come down, LF B1, which is for company code data, and you are right, it is LFM1, so it should show in the list. LFC1 is a table, but it is meant for some other purpose. You can see LFM1, vendor master record for purchasing organization. So the third table is LFM1, not C. Right, but these are the same tables that were there in ECC. In S4HANA, we have additional tables because of business partner. So for business partner, there are some more tables. Some important tables are BUT 100, BUT 000 and BUT 100. BUT 000 for general data, again same name, address, information of business partner, and BUT 100 is for roles. If I want to check which roles are created for a particular business partner, so let me show you these two reports. BUT 000 business partner general data. Okay, this is the business partner that we created. Number 1, domestic grouping, title company is 003. This is the name that we have provided. Address we have not provided, that is the reason it is showing blank. Okay, and again you can see who created, on what date, at what time, all the information is available. Okay, and if I want to know this particular business partner is created for which roles, okay, so I want to see business partner number 1 created for which roles. It is created for FLVN00, FLVN01, and UDM 000. Have I created all this? Is it our vendor, our business partner? Something wrong. Let's see. You should be in the display mode to check which roles are created. Yes, I don't know how it got created, but yes, it is created in FLVN01. It is created in UDM 000 also. So all the roles where this business partner has been created, you can see those roles are appearing here. At any point in time, if you want to see all those customers or all those vendors who are created at the company code segment, you just provide this criteria that I want to see all those business partners which are created under this role. System will give you the complete list of business partners which are created for this role. Okay, so these are some of the important tables that you should remember. I'm just adding one more table. This one I need to explain you in detail, maybe in the next session. CVI underscore cust underscore link and CVI underscore wind underscore link. One for customer, second for vendor. Okay, this too I'll explain you in the next session, because for this you need to understand the configurations also. Okay, this plus some other details which are still left in the master data we will talk about, and then we will talk about the AP and AR related transactions. Okay, so in order to grasp whatever we discussed today, it is very important that you practice at least on the business partner this week. Okay, even if you have not practiced till now on a GL, it is obviously it has to be done. But if you don't want to like miss the other AP and AR topics, at least business partner is very important. Otherwise, if your business partner concepts are not clear, it would be very difficult for you to digest the other AP and AR things. And whatever we have done till now, if you practice all these things well, the remaining part of AP and AR will be very easy to understand. But if your previous background is not clear, if you are still not clear with the basic things in GL accounting or in BP, then it may become difficult for you to digest the subsequent topics. So please utilize this week, practice on the system. If you have any doubt, please ask those questions on the mail itself, so that everything is clear till now before you come for the next week. Okay,
Vikram.
any questions? Yeah, any questions? What about practice? Nobody's asking the questions. Have you started practicing in the system?
Yes,
No,
Gaurav.
Yes, yes, Vikram.
That is very important. Otherwise, let me tell you very clearly, it will become whatever you are learning, that is fine. You are able to understand in the session, but most of the queries will only come when you work on the system. Okay, so it should not happen that you are able to understand everything in the session, but when you get a chance to work, the things are not clear to you. So utilize the server, utilize whatever we are doing. Think about other scenarios also. Not like I created one GL, you are also creating one GL. Think about what are the other scenarios which can come in the real-time project. Okay, try thinking in that way. Try to do try and error. And if you are getting stuck somewhere, if that topic is about to come, I will say you to wait. But if that is related to the topic which we already completed, then definitely I will try to answer those questions. Okay, thank you all then. We'll meet again on next Saturday. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.